Hello, everyone. This is Patrick Houston. I'm the managing editor at SMB Nation, and I'm subbing for your regular host and moderator today, Harry Brailsford. Welcome. It's noon here on the East Coast, on the West Coast, where I'm talking to you from. It is 3 o'clock on the East Coast. Welcome, everyone. Today's briefing is on Hewlett Packard Enterprises MicroServer Gen8, and we have two presenters today. Travis Newton, who is the ProLiant Tower Category Manager at the newly formed Hewlett Packard Enterprise, aka HPE, and also he'll be joined by Martine Velkeniers, who's the Product Marketing Manager for Aruba at HPE. In just a minute, Kevin will start his presentation. But first, everyone, just a couple of housekeeping notes. We want this presentation to be interactive. There will be a formal Q&A following the presentation, but along the way, feel free to pop us questions as they come up to you. You'll be able to see a Q&A box in GoToWebinars. So at any time during the presentation and the Q&A, just ask away by submitting your question in the chat window. With me is SMB Nation President Jennifer Hallmark, who will be fielding those questions and helping me moderate. So with that, let's get started. Travis Newton, please take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. As Patrick mentioned, my name is Travis Newton. I'm the Tower Category Manager. So the microserver is very near and dear to my heart. So the reason we want to reach out to you guys is that we are actually doing a promotion. It's called InstaSale, right? And basically what the main server for the SMB audience that we have on our InstaSale for this month is the MicroServer Gen8. It's the microserver that has 4 1-terabyte drives, the 1220 processor. So it's a very robust machine, and it's great. It's a great fit for the SMB segment. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the presentation. So the HPE Small and Micro Business Solution, basically it is the microserver. The saying around here with the microserver, it's the small server with a big personality. And one of the main reasons for that is that it was named PC Pro's 2014 Server of the Year. As you guys can see here by the quote, the HPE ProLiant MicroServer Gen8 is the best performing and without a doubt the best value entry-level server you can buy. This particular server has a very small form factor. I actually have 2 on my desk as we speak. It has a myriad of options for your processor. So if you want to go Core i3, if you want to go Pentium, if you want to go Xeon, you can do that. And I'll go through all the speeds and feeds later. But the main point I want to drill in here, guys, is that this particular server, even though it is a quote-unquote small form factor, it delivers a big punch and is definitely great for that SMB segment, and we'll go into why that is here in the following slides. So something, and Martine is going to go over this in great detail, something really cool about the microserver is that we try to create an all-encompassing solution with this particular box. So as you can see here, this microserver has a stackable wireless router and switch that you can just put right on top of your MicroServer Gen8. It's a seamless design. They fit perfectly on top of each other. And basically the reason we created this, and you'll see on the next slide why, is that we wanted to make it as easy as possible for you guys to integrate the microserver, your router, your switch, etc., into your business environment. So with the MicroServer Gen8, with your router, with your switch, you can have an all-encompassing solution that you can utilize for your business. Some things I want to point out with the microserver, not only is it small, and it's actually half the size of the one of our competitors' servers, the T20. Not only is it small, but it's also quiet, stylishly designed server. It enables like a more productive, connected way of running business. With a centralized place, you guys can store your files for greater availability and faster access. You can utilize the your customers can utilize the microserver for their point of sale system. It is ideal for not only your first server solution for a small business, but also for businesses that have many locations, remote branch offices. With a form factor that's super easy to use in servers, the MicroServer Gen8 helps customers transition not from that workstation environment to a server environment. So as I mentioned on the previous slide, the reason we actually created the stackable router and switch is because when our partners go into our, into their customers' business environments, when our resellers go into our, their customers' business environments, they usually see the top box, right? Wires everywhere, kind of a cluttered space. But with the PS110 wireless VPN router, with the PS1810 switch, it's more of a clean look. Everything is stackable. You can put it on top of each other, and basically you have a decluttered area for you to be, for your customers to be more productive. Martine's going to go over all of the benefits within detail, of the VPN router and of the switch, but a few quick things. Mobility access, you can utilize that with this stackable solution. The security firewall, something that's, we always harp here at HPE is our ILO management. The microserver comes with the embedded ILO management port, so it's very easy, for your customers to get ILO up and running. Some of the solution goals here, guys, create a better together converged infrastructure solutions for the SMB. That's basically a reiteration of what I mentioned before of that stackable solution that you guys can utilize, for your customers can utilize in their business environments. Create a line of products that are purpose-built for SMBs. The MicroServer Gen8 is perfect for, or is an ideal solution for an SMB customer. Does not take up a lot of space. As I mentioned, I have two on my desk right now. It can easily fit underneath a desk. If you don't fit on top of a desk. So if you have a customer that has space constraints, the MicroServer Gen8 is a great solution for them to move from that workstation environment to a server environment. That's actually something that's I get a lot of emails about, actually. A partner, a reseller email me, and they'll mention, hey, I have a customer, they're currently on a workstation environment, they have space constraints, what can I sell them to move them to a server environment? Because they're growing, they need more process output, from their IT environment, they're just not getting it from their workstation environment. I either steer them toward, one of our classic MLs, or I steer them toward the microserver. 9 times out of 10, they actually like the microserver better just because of the form factor, and you can literally put it anywhere. Provide valuable. Oh yeah, sure.
This is Patrick. Boy, the picture that you showed on that previous slide just about says it all. I'm really curious about. You mentioned the form factor over and over again. How big is it? I mean, is there a way to? What are the dimensions? And is it about half the size of a regular tower?
It is about half the size of a regular tower. Yes, I don't have the exact measurements in front of me, but to give you guys something that you can visualize, yes, it is about half the size of a regular tower. However, it still packs a big punch. For instance, the SKU that we have right now in our InstaSale, it comes with 4 1 terabyte hard drives, comes with the 1220 processor. That is great for somebody that wants to utilize the microserver for file and print, for storage or for the point of sale system. Then you throw in the VPN router, you throw in the 1810 switch. You have a stackable solution that you can utilize in the SMB segment.
So it's positioned as a transition product from workstation into servers, right?
Exactly. Or if we have the resellers might have customers that have space constraints, but they still want that Xeon processor. They still want that something that can pack more of a punch than a workstation. Then the microserver will be a good fit there as well. I put these. Oh, go ahead. Do you have another question?
Yeah. One other quick question is that what size company would this be a best fit for?
Honestly, it really depends, because this is a good segue into what I was about to say. I've put these in churches, for instance. Churches tend to like these. However, I also put these in remote branch offices that are tied to Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies, and they have the microserver in their remote branch offices. So honestly, it really just depends. It can handle applications, the file and print, your collaborations, such as your Microsoft Link or Skype for Business, things like that. So if I had to put it in a box, I would definitely put this in maybe the 0 to 50 butts and seats, maybe, if I had to put this in a box. But it is so unique, and it can be utilized in so many different ways that it's kind of hard to just put it in a box. Like, this server is only for businesses that have 0 to 50 people, butts and seats, because it can be utilized in so many different ways. As I mentioned earlier, I have an enterprise customer that utilizes this in all of the remote branch offices. I also have another customer. It's a church. It's a worldwide church. They use this in all their church locations. And then I think everyone on my team has one at home. They just use it. They use it as their media server. So yeah, there's a wide array of things you can do, with this awesome piece of equipment.
Yeah, Travis, that church example is one well taken. It's not a typical use case that comes to mind, but it says kind of a lot about it, huh?
Right, exactly. It can be utilized in your standard, regular, day-to-day business, right? Or it can be utilized for in this instance, in churches, or if you wanted a media server for your home, you could use it for that. One of our engineers, he actually has one, and he utilizes it for security for his pool. Right? He actually has young kids. He has a big pool, so he set up cameras around his pool to make sure the kids aren't going through the gate and all that. But all of that data is stored on his microserver. And what he did, he kind of took out the DVD drive that you guys see here, and this is the Tinkerer's server. So if you have customers that like to play with their servers, try to get the most out of it, this is the server to do it with. He actually took out this DVD drive that I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse. Hopefully you can, and he put a small form factor drive there. Now, granted, that's something that we're not going to be pushing here at HPE. Take out your DVD drive and put in a small form factor drive. But being that he's an engineer, he likes to tinker with the servers, he was able to put a small form factor drive in this, so he has more space for his video feed from his video cameras that he has around his pool. So tons of use cases in different scenarios that the microserver has been a part of.
Excellent, thank you.
No problem. Again, this is, as I mentioned earlier, little server with a big personality, guys. I already mentioned that this is great for your collaboration applications such as your Microsoft Links, your Skype for Business, centralized valuable information and keep it secure. You can store, I believe, you can store up to 100 movies on four 1 terabyte drives. So that's a lot. It's a lot of space. Adapt to new opportunities and win more customers. It's important, that the customers' businesses are continuously up and running. Right? Downtime means, they lose money. Having a reliable server such as the microserver as part of their IT infrastructure is a great way for them to keep their business up and running, to store that data, to collapse for the employees to collaborate with each other. It is definitely easy to manage in service. If you, the reseller, if you guys have to go out and actually, do anything with the microserver, it is very easy to take off the front bezel. Right here, it opens up, and you can basically take the drives out of it. It's very easy to do. It's a cool design. You can place it anywhere. And of course, the seamless networking with the stackable HP router and switch. And to show you guys how cool the microserver is, you can make it your own. We have these different colored bezels. It comes with the silver bezel, on the far left, but you can get the black bezel, the red, the blue bezel here. I have the red one on my desk, and everyone that sees it, they always say, "Hey, can I have it? Can I have it?" Because it's just a cool color. It's a cool server. One of our coworkers, he wants to take it and put an Iron Man sticker on it, and it's like he's already claiming my microserver for himself. He's like, "That's my Iron Man." That's my Iron Man microserver. But I think there's something cool that that we have that our competitors do not, and the fact that you can customize this microserver to fit your personality, and not only does it have the great speeds and feeds, the E3-1220 processor, up to 16 gig of storage you can have with the microserver, up to 16 gig memory you can have with the microserver, and up to 16 terabytes for max internal storage with the microserver. You can customize it to make it your own, and I think that's something that definitely sets us apart from our competitors. Great speeds and feeds. You can make it your own, and of course, ILO management. Having that ILO port that's embedded on the server is also great. So if you're on a beach, if your customers are on the beach and they have the microserver in remote locations and something goes wrong, they can just look at their phone, utilize the ILO app to try to pinpoint exactly what is wrong with the server, and have that remote management capability, which is huge because, again, downtime equals could equal a loss of funds. So with that, I'm going to hand the mic over to Martine. She's going to go over the the PS110 wireless router and the 1810 switch in detail. And Martine, take it away.
Okay, thank you. We mentioned that there is a intelligent provisioning that allows you to quickly and easily set up the whole system, which really includes your microserver, your wireless router, as well as your switch. We use the switch interface to really monitor the health of the server. And once the server is being monitored, it provides continuous updates, real-time updates on the health of the server. We're also able to monitor the health of about 10 servers through the ILO interface. As Travis mentioned, it gives you a consolidated and easy view that provides updates on your wireless routers, your switch, and your server, so you can really minimize downtime in your environment. And Trevor also mentioned that you can do remotely manage your customers without having to dispatch somebody on site. So it's really purpose-built for small and medium-sized businesses, and the integrated management and monitor simplifies the maintenance as well as the upkeep of your environment. Next slide. So the OfficeConnect PS110 is an all-in-one wireless VPN router that provides secure high-performance internet access as well as wired and wireless connectivity for your office and remote mobile employees. The router includes high-speed networking that is built in with a 4-port gigabit Ethernet switch, so you can ensure that your small business has fast access to data and files. And it also helps you to get your job done. Also, employees can stay productive while they're mobile in the office with an integrated dual-band 802.11n radio that supports 3 spatial streams, which means 450 megabits of throughput, and it supports both either the 5 gigahertz or the 2 gigahertz band, depending on your environment. The wireless router also includes a stateful packet inspection firewall to keep your mobile workers and offices protected over the internet, and it has secure VPN connectivity, which has enterprise-grade encryption and authentication to secure your network. The router also has time-based rules that can be set so that you can automatically connect and disconnect certain features, such as, for example, your radios, URL filtering on your stateful packet inspection firewall, or you can restrict access to specific times of the day. Next slide.
Martine, it's Patrick again. Can I ask a question about that last point you just made?
Yes.
What would be a typical use case for restricting access by time?
So, I mean, it's just enhanced security. So outside of office hours, you could restrict access to employees. So, you know, there is no need for employees that are not in the office to have access, so you could restrict it. It's just an enhanced security. A lot of people might not take advantage of it, but for example, in a small healthcare clinic, it could be useful.
Excellent. Thank you.
So the router features the next generation network user interface, and it also has an easy setup wizard that are designed for simplicity and reliability so you can get your business connected quickly. It also offers a friendly layout, and it offers an intuitive user interface to configure, troubleshoot, and monitor all the devices that you have on your network. You can further minimize downtime with proactive notifications, such as logs and email alerts. And the router is specifically designed to work with the ProLiant server with unique integration in the ILO interface. The enclosure is also custom designed so that the wireless router can easily be stacked on top of the ProLiant MicroServer Gen8. Next slide. So let's move on to the switches. The PS1810 is a robust, secure, and also an energy-efficient switch. It delivers the network bandwidth that is required for today's rich media applications. And it also comes with specific features that help you reduce total cost of ownership as well as simplify management and it helps you enhance productivity. The switch can connect to your server to your other critical network components. And the switch comes in two form factors. It is smart. Those are smart managed, fixed configuration, gigabit Ethernet, layer 2 switches, and that are purpose-built to work with the Gen8 server. They are specifically built for small business environments that want that integrated solution with your wireless router and your switch. The switches come in either 8-port or 24-port models, and they can be stacked on top of the microserver. And they also provide the capability to be powered by upstream PoE, and that is mostly for deployments where there is no inline power, such as might be required for point-of-sale solutions, voice-over IP sets, or security cameras. On the 24-port model, we also have FPS ports for fiber link uplink connectivity. And then the switch also offers link aggregation. Link aggregation allows you to group ports together to form a high bandwidth connection to the server. This allows you to effectively double the throughput on the link. Next slide. So the OfficeConnect switches features certain capabilities, including VLANs. It supports spanning tree as well as rapid spanning tree, and as I mentioned before, link aggregation. The switches help you save energy with energy efficient Ethernet, and it also has the ability to determine or to identify if a port is idle, so it can reduce energy consumption when the port is not in use. It also offers a fanless design, and that is important because it offers quiet operation in small business environments that might be more restricted in size, so it does not create a lot of noise. It also supports jumbo packet support, which will help you improve the performance of large data transfer. And the switch comes with a limited lifetime warranty, and you also get phone support 24/7 for 90 days. It includes the power supplies, and it also offers next business day shipment replacement in case something is wrong with the switch.
Martine, we have questions that are already rolling in, and maybe I should ask one of them here.
Okay.
For you. Since one, it says, is there an 802.11 AC wireless router? AC wireless.
Yes, we have the R120, which is an 802.11 AC router. The problem is that the form factor is not designed to integrate with the microserver, so it doesn't have that enclosure right now for to really stack on top of the microserver. But we do have an AC router, which I know is the latest wireless standard, and it is a 3-spatial stream AC router or access point that is integrated in the router.
Are there any plans afoot to have a stackable 802.11 AC?
Because the routers are very similar in size, there might be easy to create that enclosure, you know, to make it stackable on top of the router. Yes.
Great. I'm sorry, Martine. Go ahead.
So the PS1810 also has the ability to auto-discover and monitor the ProLiant Gen8 servers. So the monitor, as I mentioned before, the monitored server will report in real time the health status to the switch via the integrated interface, which enables you to have a centralized view of your switch, your router, and your server. And as I mentioned before, we can monitor or provide the health status of up to 10 monitored servers. And of course, the interface is very intuitive and easy to use, so it can be used by non-technical people. Next slide. So looking at some of the benefits that the solution is providing is first the ability to keep your business connected. Your employees can stay productive in the environment with the wireless capability that are integrated in the wireless VPN router with 802.11n connectivity either in your office or also secure VPN for your remote employees. It also delivers a better user experience in the sense that the switch allows you to prioritize traffic, especially latency-sensitive traffic such as voice and video, with advanced quality of service features. You can further enhance the productivity with faster throughput with link aggregation, which allows you to increase the bandwidth of your connection to your server, so you get twice the throughput when connecting to the server. And you also have Gigabit Ethernet 1 interface for more, fast and more reliable connectivity to the internet and for your remote worker connectivity. And you also have more flexibility in terms of supporting a growing organization, because you can extend wireless to areas where you might not have existing cabling, so you can allow your network to grow by providing wireless connectivity rather than wired connectivity to your users. Next slide. The second benefit is that you can protect your organization. You can keep your network safe from outside threats as well as unauthorized access. The stateful packet inspection firewall tracks all the traffic across the network. It is programmed to distinguish legitimate packets for different kinds of connections, and it will also reject the packets that do not match a known active connection. It is more secure than your basic packet filtering, but it also is faster than your proxy firewall. You also have Wi-Fi protected access to, which is a lot more secure than your regular Wi-Fi protected access because it uses advanced encryption. In addition to the stricter encryption, it also helps in other ways by connecting and disconnecting and reconnecting your users to the wireless network without having to go through a number of authentication processes. So it simplifies the authentication on the network. When it comes to the wired network, the authentication standard is 802.11x, and it has a happy side effect in the sense that when it is used with wireless local area networks, it gives you per user per session web keys. So every session that is authenticated with 802.11x gets its own web key. And that is as often as the professional that is handling the network what desires to give that capability. The URL filtering allows you to prevent access to harmful and malicious content and websites, and that is provided either through embedded information about malicious websites, or it can provide real-time information about malicious websites that it gets from the database. Providing unlimited internet access can lead to harmful and malicious content that is often in the form of either malicious websites or harmful content that is available through social media, blogs, or blog posting. You can further protect your organization with secure internet connectivity, which offers you VPN, secure VPN for secure access for your remote worker, and the VPN offers enterprise-grade encryption and user authentication. And that is it for the presentation. I don't know if Travis wants to show any of the promotions or if there are any questions that we want to answer first.
We do have a number of that have been rolling in.
Awesome.
Let me ask you, I think this is one for you, Travis, but Martine, feel free to weigh in as appropriate. The question is, does Hewlett Packard Enterprise plan to offer the microserver with the Xenon quad-core processor, or will it be limited to the dual-core only? So quad-core versus dual-core, they want to know.
We are in the works of qualifying that. I mean, nothing is set in stone, but possibly for future generation, we're looking into that. That's actually a question that has come up multiple times. So it's something definitely our engineers will be looking at for the future, definitely.
Okay, great. Now here's another question, and it goes, is the ML10 V2 Gen 8, 9, or 10?
The ML10 V2 is Gen 8, and we just launched ML10 Gen 9 2 months ago, actually. So I guess to put up a little framework here, so we had our original ML10 that came out probably 2.5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. That was just ML10 Gen 8. Then we launched ML10 V2 about a year ago, and now we have the ML10 Gen 9 that just came out 2 months ago.
Great. Travis and Martine, I suppose this is part of an offer, right? An insta-sale offer?
Exactly. I mean, the name of the this webinar is MicroServer March Madness, and basically the madness around the microserver that we have is that we have an insta sale around this. Your distributors, they have a specific SKUs. The microserver Gen 8, the one with the 4 1TB drives, already included, currently at a discounted price. And then not only that, we actually have large incentives for you guys to go out and sell, that microserver SKU. If you guys want more information, around the incentives or around the InstaSale flyer, you can email me at travis.newton@hpe.com. But we're really excited, this month, just based off the price point that we have for the microserver Gen 8, not only for that particular SKU, but not only that, the large incentives that we've put around that SKU, for you guys to go out and sell them to your customers, because we know there's a niche following behind the microserver. We know the customers love it, the end users love it. So it basically, we try to make it as easy as possible, for the partners and retailers to sell these things, because there's already demand for them. Created a great price, have great incentives. You guys just take the baton and run with it, basically.
Travis, it might be good if we repeat your email once again for folks to about the
yeah. If you guys grab your pen and papers, step away from the March Madness that you're watching on TV for 1 second and take my email down. It is Travis, Travis, .Newton, Newton, @hpe.com. Feel free to reach out to me, guys. I can give you a little bit of information on the Insta sales, some information on the incentives that we have. Because so far, everyone we've shown, the price point and the incentives, they're flabbergasted by the fact that we're doing this. But it's March Madness, so we have to do something crazy, right?
Travis, as you suggested, style is important, right? People love those colors. So here's a
Yes.
question that was related to those bezels that you showed in the custom colors. And the question is it expensive to purchase 3 bezels and throw away 2?
Actually, it's subjective, I would say. The bezels, the option price for the bezel is really not that expensive. I can actually get that exact pricing for you guys here in a second. I'm writing a note down right now, and Patrick or Jenny, I can just shoot you the answer. But I mean, to switch out the bezel is really not that expensive. Honestly, I wouldn't throw out 2. I would keep them all. I mean, if this is for yourself, I'm just assuming this is for yourself. If you bought a microserver and you have 5 bezels, or excuse me, you have 2 microservers and you have 5 bezels, you might want to switch them out. As the seasons change, however your mood shifts, you might, like for instance, I have a red one on mine. That's the Iron Man one. But if I decide to go blue, that might be Captain America. It just depends on the mood I'm in. Am I in an Iron Man mood or Captain America, right? So I would keep all of them, to be honest with you, because they're very cool, and you can just switch them out as you see fit.
And since you're mentioning superheroes, Travis, let's not forget that Superman versus Batman is coming out soon.
Exactly. So if you want to go with the jet black one, one weekend and then the next weekend you're in a Superman mood, you want to go red or blue, depending, you can do that. So yeah, guys, just change them out throughout the year. Style is important, and that's something that our engineers really took into consideration with creating all these different bezel colors.
Yeah. All right, here's another technical question for you guys. Any idea why it does not have UEFI to support larger boot drives?
That is a good question, and the first time I've received that question also. So kudos for you, whoever asked that question. Honestly, it's probably based off of historical purchases, because the MicroServer Gen8, it had the MicroServer Gen7. I'm assuming here that Gen 7, it wasn't needed, so they figured for Gen 8, it's not needed. And also, since it's the first time I'm hearing this question, it could just be, a unique use case that this individual would like to have the UEFI support with the microserver, but it's just something that hasn't come up. So, but that's something I can actually take to the engineers and get more of a technical answer. Maybe there could be limitations, not sure. But yeah, I can definitely take that to the engineers and ask them, why we don't have that supported. Is it more business related? Like it's just we didn't see it in Gen 7, a demand there in Gen 7, so you didn't have it in Gen 8, or is it more of a technical, mechanical reason why we don't have support?
Yeah, don't forget, if you want that question answered more completely, don't hesitate to, Travis. They can also email you, right, at that email address.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah, travis.noon@hpe.com. Travis.noon@hpe.com. In these cases, Travis and Martine, I like to put myself in the shoes of the small business owner, if you will, who's probably non-technical in many ways. And one of the questions they're probably bound to ask, right? Perhaps you can help us with providing us with the kind of answer that you'd be prepared to offer up in the face of this question. But wait, I thought I could do all this stuff in the cloud. Why should I have and buy and have a server on premises?
That is actually something that's come up quite a bit. And honestly, I think it's this is a great, honestly, this is a great use case right here. I was at a presentation about 3 months ago, and the IT department for a few schools actually, they were in my presentation, and they brought up the fact that, most schools, and it was here in Texas, I'm based out of Houston, Texas, guys, most schools in Texas, they've gone to, Google Drive, basically. And the complaint this is a common complaint from all of these IT department leads for all these different schools was that the teachers hold on to everything. The students hold on to everything. So all the space that they used to have in the cloud just quickly got absorbed by, Mrs. Stevens' geography test from, 2005, and now Mrs. Stevens, she doesn't teach geography, she's teaching world history, but she still has all of those tests for her students and the curriculum from 2005. So they actually, a few of the guys actually purchased ML10 V2s after I talked to them about it. That's literally right when we launched the ML10 V2, if I'm not mistaken. Or we had a promo around it, something along those lines. But anyway, they needed something on site. They needed something on premise, just because we'll call them employees, the teachers, were just absorbing all of that space in their private cloud that they had. So for me personally, I think for the small business owner, yes, it's great and it's really cool, to have that cloud offering. However, having something on premise is a really good idea as well, because once the cloud space is absorbed, you might be sharing it with other businesses if it's not a private cloud. Having something on premise where you can store your data, you can utilize it for your point of sale system. You can't use, I haven't heard a use case where you can use the cloud or, to manage your point of sale system, right? I haven't heard of a use case where you can use the cloud for collaboration, within employees, like your Microsoft Link, your Skype for Business, et cetera. So I guess we call it the old school on-premise server, definitely still has a place within the SMB segment.
Great. Thanks, Travis. That was a good, complete answer. We've got some more we got another question here, and it comes in two parts. So bear with me as I try to explain it. The question submitter says they were confused. I thought that Gen did come with Xenon, or is that just under the HPE program? Is that the InstaSale program that it does not come with Xenon?
We have many microserver SKUs, and yes, the other SKUs do have Xeon as well. Some have Pentium, some have Core i3, some have Xeon. For this InstaSale, however, what makes this SKU, this InstaSale SKU, in my opinion, better than our other microserver SKUs is the fact that this microserver has the 4 1 terabyte drives, hard drives, whereas the others, they might have 1 terabyte, or some of them don't even have hard drives, so you have to buy that as an extra option. It's more of a complete solution. And then when you add the switch and the router, you have basically the perfect or complete business solution for an SMB, for a customer that may have remote branch offices. You have your data, and then you have your router, your switch. You're good to go.
There's a quick specs page on your site. The URL is a little bit too long to repeat here via audio. Is there a way to describe where someone could reach it?
I can actually send out a link, and I'll just, I believe we actually have shortened links. Not sure if you could see this in the chat room, Patrick, but since there's 3 Lucy's in here, one of the Lucy's went ahead and posted the quick specs link in the chat room. So I'm not sure if you can take that and share it with the presenters, or excuse me, with the participants. If not, I can just send it to you and email it to you, and you can share it with the participants that way.
Okay, great. Let me see. Don't forget, if you've got more questions, feel free to ask them. Looks like Jenny just did share it. Thank you, Jenny.
Awesome.
Oh, here's one, guys, that gets down into the technical nitty-gritty as well, and that is a question about split tunnel capabilities. Does the server have split tunnel capabilities?
That's another first for me. And if that individual that asked that question wants to shoot me an email, I'll get back to them ASAP. Patrick, I actually have a couple of questions here. I took some notes, and I'll be sending you the answers. So if you want to disperse them that way as well, we can do that too. So, but I'll look into that, because that's another first for me as well.
Okay, great. I mean, I see that there are still a number of you on the webinar. If you have other questions, don't hesitate to ask them. Jenny Hallmark is standing by to field them and pass them on to us. I have another question that comes from the perspective of a small business owner, Travis and Martine, and that is, it goes to the whole question of cloud versus on-premise server. I should imagine that response times will be far, far faster when you're working on a local server than it would be if you were reaching out over an internet connection to a cloud, whether or not public or private.
I would assume so. I don't have any hard data to say otherwise, but yes, that assumption definitely does make sense. Martine, I'm not sure if you have anything on your end that's concrete, but on my end I do not, but the assumption does definitely make sense.
Martine?
Yeah, no, I don't have actual data to to say whether it is or not. So I mean, the switch and the router are not available in a cloud version anyway. But
yeah, great. All right, well, I see we're coming to the end of our time. If there are no more questions, are there any more questions? Please don't hesitate to ask them. Travis and Martine, you have, in the few minutes we have left, is there anything that you'd like to underscore by way of the entirety of the presentation as we prepare to sign off with our participants?
Well, for me, just you guys know, it's March Madness. We're doing something crazy with the microserver, with the 401 terabyte drives. The disties have a great price on those right now, and then with the incentives around those to sell them to your end users, adds another layer of craziness, to the price. So if you have any questions around our Insta sale, any questions around the incentives, just shoot me an email, travis.newton@hpe.com. We are really excited about what we're doing here with this microserver, and you guys will be too.
It's really a neat, elegant-looking machine.
All right, then you add the switch, the router, complete solution.
Great. Travis Newton, Martine Velkeniers, thank you so much for your time today. Participants, thank you for being so engaged during the course of this webinar from Hewlett Packard Enterprise. So let's sign off, and don't forget, if you've got additional questions that weren't answered here, you can reach Travis. And again, that email is travis.newton, N-E-W-T-O-N, @hpe.com. travis.noonan@hpe.com. Oh, wait, there is one more question that had just come in. Are there, what disties are the discounts available from? Someone just asked,
all of them. Yeah, it's the discounts are available to all of our all the disties, all the NSPs as well. So just check around, see which distie has the the lowest price basically, and stock up on these and then go ahead and sell them to your end users. But yeah, it is available to everyone.
So you just answered the question. So the deal would differ from distie to distie.
Yes, it would definitely. I mean, because all the disties are getting this one crazy Eddie price from us, and then from there, depending on if they want to lower it more, because we've seen them, a few of them lower it even more than our price, and then or we've seen some mark it up just a tad bit. So just look around. You can definitely check out the HPE Marketplace. This SKU is on there. I'm not sure if you're going to see a better price than what's on the HPE Marketplace, but definitely search around. And if you guys aren't familiar with the HPE Marketplace, basically it's a HP-owned website where some of our distributors and NSPs, as we call them, put what they have in stock. So they can put this particular microserver up. You might see 6 different prices on there. You just pick the one that you like the best, and that distributor will ship it to you. So yeah, I would definitely check the marketplace, check the distributors that you use normally, but start pounding on the door, let them know, hey, we know about the instant sale price, we know about these incentives, let's get the ball rolling with the microserver.
Travis, I think you said it all when you said you're offering crazy Eddie.
I had you at crazy Eddie.
It should be said in closing that while you may have crazy Eddie pricing, you've presented it with far more dignity here today than crazy Eddie ever would in one of his. It was a real pleasure. Thank you, Travis and Martine. Travis, for your good sense of humor as well. Thank you, participants. That's it for today, and thanks again for being here.